So I had one trade this week. It was an awful, awful loser. It was the most disheartening trade in the world. Where do I even start? Okay, so this week's trade, I lost about $1,000. So I made $1,000 last week, and I said I was really, really lucky. Well, this week might be the complete opposite. What happened was I made a trade on the pound dollar, which is my only thesis that I'm trading at the moment, and there's a reason for that. But anyway, so I got the correct fundamental call. I said that manufacturing numbers were gonna be blowout numbers. But what happened was manufacturing is blowout, but there's a GDP deficit. GDP deficits usually are not big news to the market. They're not as impactful as manufacturing. If you go to any economic calendar and look at this week's events, you will see that manufacturing numbers are probably like 2 out of 3 in terms of importance, and GDP numbers are 1. But the market reacted to the 1. Why? I don't have my suspicions is that this is all AI trading, and because the first news that popped up on the Bloomberg ticker thing is pound or UK deficit, then the whole market just went ballistic. So I made the correct call, but market didn't behave the way that it should have, and that's normal. And I was thinking a way to explain this to you guys, so I was thinking about cooking and baking, and I think I have the perfect idea. Let's do that. Okay, I want you to imagine for a second we entered this cooking competition, and what happened is that I am a very talented cook who went to the best school in the world to learn how to make the best desserts. So I have things like this, which is good chocolate, healthy chocolate. I have the best basic ingredients like eggs, flour, oat bran, and yeah, all this other cooking stuff. And say I had the best equipment in the world as well. I have metal bowls, hand whisks and rolls, and even some really nifty equipment like this. And what happened is we entered this competition, and the best cook in theory should win, right? Because I have better knowledge and I have better skills, I have better equipment, I have better everything. But say I entered this competition, and what happened is that they happened to choose a guy who was from Japan. And this guy from Japan just happens to be very nostalgic. He remembers his grandma just passed away or something. And what happened is that the other person I was competing against, all he did was brought out this. This is a box of instant pancake mix. And say for some reason that competitor somehow this reminded him of his grandma or something. And for whatever reason he won. But he only used this. I had all the fancy equipment, I had all the right things. I still lost. Now, does that make me a worse or better baker than the other guy? Well, chances are I'm a better cook, better baker, but still he won, and that's just because of the circumstances. When I look at this week's trade, I think about the same thing, because I took all my energy in the world, or all my knowledge in the world, to enter the correct technical position, the right sentiment position, and I had the correct fundamental position, just as the market moved against us. And it just happens to be one of these days. I know what some of you are thinking, what a stupid example. In what world would that kind of competition exist? Well, in trading it's kind of the same thing. If you were an equities trader in December, chances are you would have made some money. Or you're an indices trader in December, and you bought US stocks, you would have made some money. But does that make your call right? Well, I've been listening to a lot of Real Vision TV, and these are the best fund managers in the world, and all of them are saying that this rally is a little bit too overrun. And that tells you something. These are billion-dollar companies, billion-dollar, million-dollar asset management companies, and all of them are saying the S&P is overrun. And yet, people still make money in December. Sometimes simplicity and luck is all you need to win in the market, but it's not what you want for the long run. So what does it mean for you guys? Well, for one, it means that it's very difficult to select correct traders because sometimes it's just based on luck. Sometimes it's based on the system, but the system is also dependent on a certain element of luck. Like my system, for example, works good in a directional market. Now we are in a ranging market. It's like in between these two levels, and we are stuck in between these two levels. So that's why my system hasn't been doing so well. And this was since the Trump rally. So so I made tweaks already to try and modify the system a little bit so that I stop losing false signals. I give up a little bit, but I think it's more accurate, and I've tested it. It is a little bit more accurate. But it's also very frustrating for me because if I had my 1 year challenge 1 year prior to this, I think I would have been fine. It's just that now we happen to be in a Trump rally, which makes no sense. We went into Brexit, which kind of created this entire phenomenon. And all this craziness has caused my system to essentially not work as well as I backtested it to be. And somehow or other, is what it is, and I'm down quite a bit. So yeah, that's it for this week, guys. Thanks so much for continuing following me on my journey. I have a big announcement that I'm gonna make that's gonna come out maybe in 2 days' time, and then I will let you guys know.